Joining us tonight, Chairman of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp, and National Co-Chair of Maverick PAC and former Treasury Attaché to Saudi Arabia, Morgan Ortegas. Thank you both for being here. Your reaction to what Trump said, the clarity of what he is saying now. He is to me, a much more effective speaker. What did you think of what he was saying?
I thought when he came out today and said that he's going to talk to the NRA about banning the weapons for terrorists was the smartest thing that he said in a couple weeks. And I only wish he had said it on Monday to take the media narrative away. I think most of Americans are with him on this. He's taking the Democrats'
You don't really believe you can take the media narrative away. The liberal media is trying to kill the man. It doesn't matter what he says. It doesn't matter where he goes, what he does. They're going to be attacking him. And you can look at the home page of the Washington the front page of the New York Times, just for an inkling as to what he is contending with.
I think the liberal media trying to kill the Republican nominee is certainly not something that's new. What's different with him
you've never seen
no,
this,
but
Morgan.
He knows how to outsmart them.
Let's be really honest with one another and our audience. You have never seen the liberal media at its worst, and it has spent some considerable time there, hammer and attack so viciously a candidate as it is Donald Trump, ever.
Okay. So back to the guns.
No, I mean, either you agree or you disagree.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course I agree with you. But I think this is par for the course as a conservative. We're used to
par for the course, but it's unique and the most energetic attack on a candidate. I mean, which is it in your view?
I think any Republican nominee is going to be attacked viciously, and he certainly is facing the brunt of it now because he's the nominee. It doesn't surprise me.
Matt, what do you think?
I think Donald Trump is running against Washington, D.C. I think he's running against, in some ways, the elite in Washington, D.C. and New York City, even though in some ways he is that. And I think whether it's politicians like elected Republicans in Congress who obviously are just chafing at the idea that he's running against them, I also think there's a lot of people in the news media that knows he's running against them, too. The American people are in a revolt mode.
Yeah, the American people are in revolt mode. It is the year of the outsider. And every insider, whether they're in the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, or the national liberal media, the elites of the establishment of this country right now are returning fire on Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think people are always saying, why can't all these Republican elected officials just get behind Donald Trump? Number one, the reason why they're not getting behind him is because he's kind of running against them. And number two, I'm not so sure he really needs all of them. I think he actually is. They're a good for him, and I think you're going to see these inter-party fights happening from now to November.
Can you imagine, Morgan? It's October, and Donald Trump is running behind Hillary Clinton. That's the choice before the American people. Either the disruptor, the man who is offering solutions, talking straightforwardly and clearly, or a third term of Barack Obama in the person of Hillary Clinton, who has nothing to her credit, and everything, it seems, in scandal form against her.
Well, what you just said about running against the elites, I think, is profound. And we're not only seeing that in the U.S., we're seeing that in the U.K. with the Brexit vote, where leaving the European Union has pulled ahead, wildly ahead. And we see how popular Boris Johnson is, of course, in the U.K. I think the sentiment is going on throughout the West because of failed immigration policies and failed economic policies. And we shouldn't blame the voter whenever the system is upended. We should
that's the last thing you'll find happening here.
Responsible.
You know, I love the voters, and all I want are for the voters to have a voice that's heard. The choice, Clinton and Trump. Can you imagine him being behind and losing to her with these choices before the American people?
I can imagine. I mean, the Clintons are very sophisticated at campaigning. She is an incredibly weak candidate. I agree with what Ed said. It's going to be a tight race. What he needs to come on, the biggest thing going for him, in my opinion, is that he projects strength. And we're coming off 8 years where we've had an incredibly weak president, where not only the voters, but the world has been crying out for a strong president. If he projects strength and is the one that the American people can trust, then he'll have a major advantage going into November.
And Matt, he sounds like the president right now. He's the one talking about the issues. He's talking about carrying the fight to the enemy. He is the man talking about the issues and providing prescriptions, whether it be in terms of free trade and its impact on our economy, whether it be joblessness or the Islamist terrorists.
Look, I remember talking to KT McFarland, someone who's on your show a bunch, at CPAC about the fact that this election is going to be a security election, Lou. And I think when it comes down to our national security and our economic security, where are the jobs?
Right.
Where is economic growth coming from? I think if we're talking about those issues in November, I think Trump's going to win. How can Hillary Clinton possibly stand up there and make anybody feel good about being strong as Americans when it comes to these threats overseas? She just can't do it.
I don't know, but so far, Real Clear Politics has found enough to give her a 6-point advantage in their average. Matt, thanks so much. Appreciate it.